Welcome back, family. Welcome back, everyone. If you've never been here before, this is the Scurv podcast. I'm your host, LanceScurvX. Just want to give you a quick announcement. LanceScurvX.com is my site that you go to. You sign up by going there, put your email address in, you get everything, right? LanceScurv.com, my original website, in a few days will be shifted to go there to my new website. LanceScurv.com is still there in its old form, which I haven't posted there in a long time, but both addresses will soon take you to the one site. Just wanted to throw that out there. And there's something else I wanted to share, but I'll wait till I see it manifest. It's a good thing, but we're working on things behind the scenes more and more. And like I promised, as the time comes, I'm going to be doing more content, more stuff, and we're going to be talking about more things that make you think. And today, or rather tonight, I want to talk about these celebrities with these trans kids. Trans kids. There's something sinister going on with this thing. Why is it that so many celebrities are having children that want to change their sex? I mean, it's not just celebrities, right? And really, when you look at the numbers, which I don't want to quote numbers right now and get it wrong, but the whole trans community is a very, very, very tiny community, if you can call it a community. It's statistics, but it's not like a community where we're all together as one unified, united front. We're the trans people. It's not like that. But to me, I'm going to say it right off the hip. To me, since the powers that be, and this is not a conspiracy because this is logical, the powers that be know that so-called celebrities, because what a person calls a celebrity may not be a celebrity in my mind. My parents were my celebrities. I had neighbors who were celebrities. I have people that I don't know through media that are doing a good thing within their realm, within their circle. To me, those are the celebrities. Just because you're famous and the entertainment industry pushed you with their money to make you popular because you were in a movie that they wanted to sell, or it's lucrative to them behind the scenes to push you as some singer or some comedian. They push it. You keep seeing billboards and commercials, and I see this person all over the place. They must be a celebrity. Doesn't mean that. It's about money. So let's get that straight. So when I say celebrity, those people who they choose are not my celebrities. And I'm quite sure it's the same way with you, but you just keep seeing them all over the place, so they become a well-known face. But the powers that be, the ones who push these agendas, like many years ago, people told me when I said there is a gay agenda, a lot of gay people told me, man, there ain't no agenda, I'm just this way. Yes, okay, you might be just this way. You might have been that way from young or whatever. We're not going to split hairs on that one. But since it favored you, it didn't bother you. You couldn't see it because it's more of what you want. If we know that chocolate cake is bad for you, it's sugar, the oils, everything, the frosting, and it's bad for you, but you love chocolate cake, you're not going to be mad if they give you chocolate cake every day for lunch in school. You're like, man, I can eat this every day. But it's not good for you. So what I'm saying is that there's so many celebrities now, the man-made, engineered celebrities, that have trans kids, and it's the same thing, right? Even if they don't identify as the sex they were born, this gender fluid thing, and I'm like, gender fluid, what is that, crotch sauce? You know what I mean? Gender fluid. These terms, I just don't, binary, I don't know what these terms are. My brain maybe is too old to accept, not accept it, but just to register this thing. And the she and the her and the him and the check this box and check that box. Look, you're born with two things, unless you're a hermaphrodite where you have two things, right? And that's far and few between. And they're not making no noise. You're born a male or a female. That's down there. We know what it is when we see it. But what's going on up here in the brain? What's going on in society? Why the celebrities are there as pawns to push agendas. They're used that way. That's one of the things that they have to commit to. I'm not saying every so-called celebrity has to have a trans child, but when you get to a certain level of fame, when these people have invested so much in you, you better jump when they say jump. I'm not saying that the parents made the child that way. Who knows what goes on behind the scenes? Maybe it's fake and maybe they're making this up to push something out in the world. But why is there such a push to accept something that is against, now if I say traditional, right, that is more of an offensive word in this modern day society, which is like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's worse than saying trans. Trans is pushed as, oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I love my child. I'm not saying for somebody not to love their child, but why is it nobody questioning this thing that's in common so much pushed? When we got Vietnam vets and people who were in the service who were tricked to go into the service feeling patriotic, but they come out and they don't get the mental health care that they need. They don't get the physical care that they need. A lot of them don't even have housing and they're sleeping under overpasses, but we're pushing trans. You got senior citizens who've been in the system for so long, working their butts off. Now they're at a certain age where they can sit down and retire a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to give them $1 million, but why are some grandmothers out here eating dog food, and why are some grandfathers out here living in the streets? You know, ailments happen. You give your life to the system should pay you back. But guess what? They got money to go send all of these ships and drones and missiles and send people out. Okay, I got to cut this down because it's going to pop up and this is going to mess up my sound because this other video I have is going live right now. So, and that distracted me. Let me get over the screen. So, you have all of this money for warfare and for death and for killing because of greed. Because America has this other country making them become the do-boy to do their bidding. And I have to say it in a special way because AI is out here like pit bulls. They're out here watching to see what you're saying, and every single syllable, every single word and the way you say it, they'll strike your video like that, right? So what I'm saying is that you got all this money to give to this other country to fight their battles, and it's not even a battle. You started the fight. Because that country, that 1948 was started, I found out that their birth rates are high. And I didn't realize that country was just as small as New Jersey, the state of New Jersey in America, and you got a high birth rate. So you starting a fight because you want to take over and get more land so your people can live better. Think about it that way also. And the oil and all of this other stuff like that. But you're like that guest who was invited into the house because they were going through hard times. Oh, I just lost my job. And, you know, I got to get evicted another week. I don't have nowhere to go. Oh, come on in. You listen, cool out. You know, you'll get another job. You've got to be here for a few months. You crash out on the couch. You help around the house, whatever, but I got you. And that person gets up inside your house. You take them in out of the kindness out of your heart. And they're telling you in a month's time or 2 months' time, there was no toilet paper in the bathroom. Why is the refrigerator empty? I took the car out. Why is there no gas? You know, the sheets haven't been washed. Well, you a guest. You come in, and now you want to take over. And that's what that country wants to do to the whole world. They don't care about anything else. It's just them. That's what it is. And you got money for them. But you don't have any money for the real things. You got money for all these wars, but you got no money for reparations. For us. But those people, the small hat people, they get money, even with no war, every year. Billions and billions and billions. And we sit here and look at it going over our heads. We don't get a damn thing after building the country. And yes, there were other races of people that came and built the country, but they're on their feet. And we're still pushed down and ostracized and just, I don't want to even talk about it, but they're going to push this trans thing. Why is it in this day and age that everything that's against what is proper, people say, well, how could you say what is proper? When you go off the path, when you go off of what is righteous and what is proper and what is right, I'm not even speaking as a person who says I'm some religious person, but a spiritually correct person, right? And you take that term and you run with it. But even biblically, I'm going to say that, even though we know that book is twisted up. There's so many things that people do now that is against that, right? And the laws of Ma'at and all of these things. And whatever's evil or whatever goes against those laws is celebrated. But what's up with these celebrities and these trans children? And this has been going on. This is something written in the fine print. We choose you. And when you have a child, we're going to stimulate them. We're going to do something to them to make them want to just... Life is short. Life is short, y'all. There's nothing that's going to make me want to change who I am. You know? I mean, I'm not parting with my penis. Me and old penis had a lot of good times together. I'm just being funny, y'all. But I'm just saying, like, you're so young. You're not even 10 years old. You're 15, 18, 20, and you got this in your head and you never even lived life yet. And even if you have, what is making you go against you, who you are? Because the energy is still the same. You're not changing anything. Just because I put on a Spider-Man costume at Halloween, that don't mean I'm a Spider-Man. I can't jump off the top of the building and spit out webs and swing on the webs. I'm not Superman. I can't fly. I can put the costume on. You have the men that take the hormones and chop things off, and the breasts, the hormones, and you know, these things that soften the face and whatever, and you still a dude. You still got them big behind feet. You still got that big Adam's apple. You still got that big head and them big hands. Come on now. You still got man bones. Trans what? You can't take what the Creator made and switch it around. This is not a garden where I can, well, let's take the pineapples over there and move it by the mangoes, and let's take the papaya and plant it. Well, you can do that. And you can actually lie to yourself, but why? The visibility of these celebrities. And by them saying, yes, I love my, yeah, and you're supposed to love your child. And then now they go on, I support everything they do and whatever. Now, you know you weren't raised that way. Now, you know back years ago, before all of this trans, only trans I knew back in what, 77 was the song by Kraftwerk. Trans, Europe, Express. Remember that song? That was a jam. That's the only trans I knew. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Remember that cartoon? They were setting us up. Getting that jingle in our head, the Transformers, more than meets the eye. Well, what are we seeing now in real life? You're seeing Transformers. What is spiritually off with an individual where they will look at themselves and basically say that they're in the wrong packaging? So you're telling me, as you claim to be a lover of the Creator, that the Creator, who is perfect, made a mistake. Think about it. God, you made a mistake. You put me in the wrong body. You know, maybe you were dealing with them demons and fighting them and whatever, but your back was turned and you put me in the wrong body. The Creator doesn't make any mistakes. So that's what you're saying, that you could change things. This is not like a pizza parlor, a pizza shop. Hey, you gave me chicken pizza? No, I'm a vegan. I wanted to have just vegetables on it. Take it back and give me. It's not made to order that way. There's certain laws that we don't acknowledge. We have the mental, we have the physical, we have the spiritual, and the blending of all of that in the emotional and all that stuff. Here's my tripod. I got a couple of them over there. I'll leave it. The tripod, that you put the camera on top. It's got 3 legs. With the 3 legs, if you shorten one leg and sit it down, it's going to lean a certain way. It's going to be out of balance. It's going to throw off the other legs. So when you see somebody who is mentally off, there's also a spiritual component to them being mentally off. And eventually, when you have a clear mind and you see a person who may be off that way and off spiritually, it will start to manifest physically. You know, when you ride public transportation or go to the shopping mall or anywhere where people congregate or pass through, you see that one person with that funny look on their face. And what's wrong with that? They got something going on. Unless they happen to be deformed, which is nothing to laugh at. They didn't do that to themselves. But you can feel it. And we're being told these days that we can't roll with our intuition, that we can't go with what we see with our spirit eye, that we have to just refuse and dismiss what we see and absorb what they're telling us, like sheeple. Because we ourselves, because of this phone, overuse and dead time on the phone, if you want to research something or a fact, or even if you're entertaining yourself, fine, with something wholesome. But with all of this, it's almost like you have a big cup of water or something, you just pour it out. It's something to drink, you're eating dinner, you just pour it out. It's taking up mental space and it's erasing our ability to reason. And we're becoming unshockable. We're supposed to be able to be shocked at certain things that's not the norm. Shocked at certain things that are off. Now we have people in the street that we see that are mentally off, and it's become normalcy now. I'm not saying make fun of them. I'm not saying that they can't be corrected and things can't heal back. But mental illness now is the norm. And if you point it out, you're bad. You need to be censored. Your platform needs to be taken down because that's okay. We push this. We push all of this other stuff that's in transgression to the word of God and the state of being that is creator-like. Because somebody, some entity, and entities don't like that type of proper order. But those of us who are good, we can't really understand that sometimes. That if you are a man or a woman and you desire the opposite sex and you wish to procreate with them righteously and you wish to build a family and have a home and you sit down with your children and guide them to adulthood, you teach them lessons, you take time with them, and you hone them and craft them. You let them have their own personality, but you guide them the right way so when they go out into the world on their own, they're equipped with the lessons that you taught them. I mean, it was just earlier. My mother passed away April 28th, 1994, right? And my father passed away November 19th, 1990. But I was opening up a can of tuna. I know, canned food, whatever. I just wanted a can of tuna, right? I was gonna make a little sandwich out of it with some oat bread. And I set the tuna down and I used half of it to make the sandwich, and I was gonna eat the sandwich and use the other half of the can to make another one. And I heard my mother's voice in my head. Lance, don't leave the tuna in the can because once the oxygen hits it against that metal, you can get ptomaine poisoning. I never researched that. I never questioned that. But that was always in my head because of how they raised me. There are things on file in my mind that were given to me that helped to guide me today. And I was like, maybe she can hear me or not, but I said it out loud. I said, thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? Now, if I heard her answer, I might get a little spooked, but, you know, this is the connection. So where's the opening for these youngsters to claim this and want this? You know, like what are they seeing at home? What is influencing them? If you have a total rule, we're not talking dictatorship, we're not talking abuse, but you're there to protect your children. Just because they came out of the womb doesn't mean you just let anybody have them or their minds. No. They're still fragile. They're out of the womb now, but you still protect them. You have a righteous home, like I always say. That's why home rhymes with womb. You're out of the womb, but you're into the home, which is another form of an expanded womb. your home. Even as an adult, when you come home, you're coming home to the protection. You're protected, or you should be, in your home. You shouldn't be abused in your home, misused, put down. But no, it should be pure there. You should be able to bask in the atmosphere of your home. And it's like the phone being on the charger and you're charging up. And you learn lessons, and you have discussions, and you experience accountability. You do something bad at school, and you're sitting around the dinner table, you can't get away from that. But because now society is a 24-hour society, parents work in the morning, at night, we got the latchkey kids that are coming home, empty house, they're doing stuff, they're getting pregnant sometime. It's out of control. So there's no time of accountability. We don't even have family-centered activities as much, even if you have family, because a lot of times we don't have it because it seems like the society is against family. That's a righteous thing. Like you have the molecules and you have the other cells that are bigger, and together they make who you are. But if they break us down on a cellular level, on a family level, how could we have that protection if there's no home? It's like the children now, most of them and a lot of them, not all, I clap and applaud those who are doing a good job, whether you're a single parent or your mother and father, or grandmother, whoever. If you're doing a good job, I applaud you. But a lot of these children are raised, I hate to say it, with no soul, and they're like test tube babies. The only thing that happened with them is that sperm hit egg between the parents, and they were left to the world and all the influences to adopt this energy. How are you going to be 8 years old and say, I always knew I was trans? What? How you know that? You can't even pay a mortgage. You can't even take care of yourself. You can't even hold down a job. You talking about, you know you were this. What got to you? Even if some person didn't violate them, what got to them? I truly believe also that with social media, with the cameras, with their ability to see us whenever, whether the gadget is on or off, that there's an energy emitted through the computer, through the smartphone, through these things, and we're absorbing it directly in our eyes. The eyes are a very sensitive thing. They say the eyes are the mirror to the soul. So our souls are getting snatched through our eyes. We're giving it up when we look into it. You think not? You walk around late at night in the woods and realize that there are animals quietly watching you. And they don't move, even if you're close, because they know you can't see them. But the minute you give them eye contact, if you can see them, they get out of there, right? You want to look into your phone. They have this setting where you can look into the phone, and through your eyesight, through looking in the phone, it unlocks it. What energy is coming out of your eyes, and what can the phone see to make that connection? So when we look at each other, and this is why those who are spiritually attuned can look a person in their eye and download their essence quickly and tell you, listen, watch that person, watch that brother, watch that sister. I don't think they're too right. I can't pinpoint it, but what I see in them, it's not to be trusted. We got to get back to that. We got away from that. But there's information being put into our children's minds. I truly believe that. All of this technology and so-called advancement, the Wi-Fi, and we all have phones, something is wrong. See, me, I'm so established within myself, this is not going to crack me. It's not going to change the foundation that I had that's so strong, like a bedrock. My foundation is strong in who I am. My personality is too strong. And certain things I'm just never going for. Do what you want if you want to do it. I don't hate anybody, but why can't I express myself and question certain things that I see? There's got to be some type of pact. There's got to be some type of possibility that, okay, you're going to be granted this fame now. You're talented. You earned it to a point, but we're the ones that put you out there. But if we need you to, and I don't know how that works out, you know, who knows? But there's a lot of creepy things that are happening out here in the world that we don't know about. And we just can't blind ourselves because the technology got us. Humanity is under control. And they'll tell you one thing, and it will be something completely different. But there are, like they say, spiritual situations in high places. Well, if it's demonic, it's not that. It's not high. But I understand what they mean by that, that it's a high station according to man's system. And we think because they're leaders and they're the king and the queen and they're leaders that they have so much sense. Look at how they're tearing up the world and not caring for the world. Like I said on one of the other videos, I forgot which one it was, but what if we took all of our talents and all of our abilities for the good across the races, all of the races of the world, you know, all of us. Whatever brilliance we have, let's use it for the betterment of the world. We all can donate money to certain causes and make things happen where we can use water as fuel. But I hear they don't want to have that. We can utilize sunlight for energy, solar across the place. But, you know, the cures for diseases. But they want you sick so they can make money off of you. They don't want a cure. They want to turn you away from nature. All the cures you ever want is growing in the yard. The plants, that's the medicine. Every plant has a cause and a reason and a cure. And you can take it, certain things, golden seed, you can't take too much at one time, but you can take most things and it will not bother you. Why is it that they have to turn it around into a GMO thing or make you take a synthetic pill, which is a copy of the natural, which vibes with our body, but they don't want that. Everything is a transgression against natural laws. And this celebrity thing with their influences over the world, where so-and-so has a trans child, and the kids see this. Mommy, what's a trans? Oh, we'll tell you later on. Then they go on the computer later on, and they're looking, oh, that's what it is? Maybe I'm that. You know what I mean? You're not going to order something off the menu in the restaurant if it's not on the menu. If you don't see it on the menu, you're not going to ask for it. Well, they're putting things in front of us like a menu, and we're starting to get curious. Little kids watching porn. There's no barrier to watching porn. You click that button, I am over 18. Click, we tricked them. And so now they have all these things in their head beyond what they can handle. Their mind is it's premature. I'm just throwing certain things out to show you how we're getting messed up. And we're preoccupied with things that we should not even be preoccupied with. This is why when folks get older, even now in their late 20s and 30s, a lot of people are done. They've seen too much life. They didn't have the fun. They didn't have the childhood. What kid should be thinking about cutting off their genitals or taking hormones from single-digit ages? What kind of world is this? Somebody's going to have to answer to that, even if not on this level, but on a spiritual higher level, on the next level. Somebody's responsible for this. Man, I had fun when I was a kid. We played, we had fun. I studied, we did our lessons. We laughed so hard, it was simpler. There were no cell phones, there was no computer. We had to walk to go to the library, even if it was raining. We had to sit up and do our homework. If we didn't do it fast enough or good enough, and the weekend was spent, well, you better get up. You won't be up tonight doing that homework. But it was pure, it was wholesome. Wasn't nobody thinking about no trans. What was the one from years ago? Renee Richards. Was it Renee Richards? Who was named, it was a man named Richard Raskind. Now this is off the back of my mind, Google it. Richard Raskind, and he was supposed to be this, I'm not gonna say he was the first one, but he was really visible as one of the first ones. And he called himself Renee Richards. I think he was a tennis player or something like that. I should have got that information out, but to Google it. But on this page here, on this particular site, and this is not all of them, but they had, and the screen is so bright, it just made me look like a ghost. But I didn't know, okay, Robert De Niro has a 29-year-old daughter, but who came out as trans during an interview, or what was it, a guy before or whatever? I don't know. Cher, and Cher's daughter turned himself into looking like a man and looks like a middle-aged, chubby, beer-guzzling, whatever. I mean, like, why would you want to, and you know, why? I would have some questions. Sigourney Weaver, what was the movie she was in? There was a movie she was in. Some science fiction movie I remember years ago. Oh, Alien, right. She has some family that way. Dwayne Wade, I knew something was up with him by the way they spell his name. That's not the way you spell no Dwayne. D-W-Y, right? And Gabrielle Union with their son who wants to be a daughter. I don't think they physically did the change, but why? Why? And some of these children are intelligent. Is it spiritual? What is it? Please give me your opinion in the comment section. I want to know what you think. Heather Dubrow, I don't know her. I don't know a lot of these so-called celebrities. I don't follow this stuff. Michelle Visage, Annette Bening and Warren Beatty, Charlize Theron, if that's the way you say her name, Cynthia Nixon. I'm saying the parents or a parent who have trans children. Naomi Watts. Who else? Sade. That one shocked me. You never know. I'm not supposed to say you're supposed to curse somebody or hate them or disown them or whatever, but if we were, Sting, the performer Sting, Elliot Summer, who he shares with Trudy Styler, revealed over 10 years ago that they do not identify with gender labels. Okay. Jamie Lee Curtis, Marlon Wayans, Jennifer Lopez. Now, all of them are not trans, but they're into the whole I'm not a woman or I'm not a man thing, but a lot of them are. And there's another comprehensive list that I saw that I couldn't find again. I mean, they had almost 100 celebrities, and I noticed that back then. And I just think it's bizarre, and the timing of it, and the time. What's next? For those of you who have a little mileage on your clock, who can think back to a time where you would have never believed this stuff. And like I always say, my mother told me, she said, Lance, if things go as nature goes, where I go and your father goes before me, and then you live on to a certain age and you go before your kids when you have them, I don't want to see what you are going to see. I don't want to be in the world that you're going to see. I know what's coming. My mother did. She told me a lot of things. And she was very prophetic in the way that we would speak and sit around the dinner table and just talk. I mean, she didn't say things exactly as it was going to go, but she knew, she saw the spiritual wickedness and how far it could go, and she knew life. She knew life. There's nothing really that would shock her, but now we're coming into a time where there are a lot of things that would kind of like, hey, I wasn't ready for that, you know? So what will it be 30 years from now? What will it be 40 years from now? If these entities, these demonic entities that want to turn everything against what the Creator had for this world, which again I have to clarify, there are two worlds. There's the man-made engineered world, which is in transgression to the will of the Creator, and you have the Creator's world. The Creator's world is perfect. You'll get jacked up in the man-made world. That's why I'm still in the system, because they're ATM cards, they're banks, you know, they're cars, whatever. But I'm further away from the chaos in the Western world. There's corruption here, there's things here, there's greed, there's envy, there's jealousy, there's all of those things here, but I'm more isolated from it. I put a big ass wall around my home. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear it. If you have the foolishness in you, I don't have to. I'm good. Not that I had to heal from anything major, but what I'm saying is that in that atmosphere, I've healed up even more. I'm more myself. And with every day that goes by, I'm becoming more and more of myself. So this is righteous isolation. I have no choice but to see things, because there's nothing distracting me. There's nothing whispering in my ear to take me off course, off nature's righteous course. So at this age, I'm revitalized, I'm rejuvenated. Because all the other stuff, I don't have to fight off no more. I don't have to be, I was never afraid to speak my mind. You all know, if you knew my former platforms that were taken down, I was never afraid to speak my mind. And now things are more strict. I don't care, I am who I am. If you don't hear it, I'll get out in the street with a bullhorn. What you gonna do, take that away? You gonna shadow ban a bullhorn? You know what I mean? We need more of the people, and it's not old school, it's truth. If we can't vibrate where we can express ourselves righteously, what kind of world are we living in? We're not hating anybody. We're not putting our hand on anybody. We're not stopping anybody from eating or getting sunlight or getting sleep or earning a living. No, we're speaking our opinion, our perspective, which our opinions are our truth. Until you prove different to me, prove it. That's what I say. I'm willing to reason with anybody. So don't come at me with any hate. I just want to know. This seems to be a pattern here that is just happening too much. And you notice when you see patterns, you know, we all create patterns. There's patterns that people create that I see. I can tell you what they're about to do by the patterns that they have, and they don't really realize it. That's why with me, I stagger myself all the time. You're not going to see a pattern with me. Unless I want you to think that there's one, then I'll change it. See? Anyway, let me know in the comment section, have you noticed that celebrities, the so-called celebrities, the engineered man-made celebrities in their world have these trans kids or kids that are just young and should not be thinking about this kind of stuff? And where did it come from? Did it come from the neglect of a certain aspect of the child's life, or these celebrities weren't there and other stuff slipped in? Is this some type of agreement that these people have with the entertainment industry, that some of them have to have this going on to influence the world? I don't know. It's crazy. We have so many people who need real help, funds, different things. Why is this, and I'm calling it foolishness. Why is this foolishness so important? When I drove the bus in Orlando, Florida, there was a guy, he was like 6'5", about 6'5". And there was another one who was a little shorter, about 5'9", 5'8". They rode on different bus lines at different times on the various routes that I drove. And there was one that was really passive. I guess he was a cook in the restaurant. He had this black outfit on, and had the thing over his, around so he couldn't sneeze, and it had nothing to do with C-19. But it was quiet. But I noticed every day over a 3-year period, this dude started looking softer, started looking more feminine, started growing hair, started having hips. Then I see the bulge of a breast. And they were talking about him, other coworkers, about his transition. He's transitioned into a woman. Not really, but he got the operation and everything. And I'd see them, and he would see me, and I say he, because he was a he originally, right? Trying to be a she. And I would never look to lock eyes with people. I'd see them out there, and I let them come on the bus, because I already picked up their spirit. But every time that I accidentally locked eyes with this person, because it wasn't on purpose, they had this look on their face like, he knows my secret. And I wasn't gawking at them, like looking like strange or making any strange expression, but it was strange. And I guess they picked up that I knew this. Now the other one that was so tall, they were aggressive. They would always try to sit in the front near me where out the corner of my eye I can see them. And they were always peering at me. If somebody would come on and talk to me, they got jealous. I didn't know that at first, but you can tell other passengers that knew me real good, but they watched on a certain route, and it's like, that man likes you. But that man started turning more into looking like a woman and acting like a woman. And it was frightening, not frightening like I'm scared you're gonna do something to me, because you know what? Anybody can get their butt whipped. I can get my butt whipped, you can get it whipped, I can poke your eye out, and now you ain't big and bad no more, right? So you're taking a chance when we go there. But what I want to say is that this one night, there was a route that I did to a very desolate, quiet, industrial area at night. Nobody really went all the way. They went to a certain point, but once the route continued, I think it was Shader Road off of John Young Parkway. It was the 25 route. And when you come up and you go down Shader Road, it's dark, nothing there. You're coming back around to go down to the bus, where they park the buses up, the base, if that was your last run. And this dude never rode that far, but he was determined to ride up on the route with me to where it's a very dark area. So I'm thinking, is this some kind of mass murderer or somebody who, oh, I can't have you, so nobody else will have you? You got people out there like that. And this person, over the few years they rode with me, was more and more aggressive. But even though they looked more like a woman, they still had the manly thing. It was like a monster. And so they was just sitting there looking at me. I wasn't saying, oh, I know you get off early. I wasn't striking up no conversation with them. I was quiet. I drove right up into where the base was, and the last stop, they were still sitting there. I was to go no further. I was about to turn in, right? And they were determined to have some kind of connection with me. So I got off the bus. I spoke to one of my supervisors on the radio, real low. I said, this passenger hasn't given me any trouble, but I want them off. This is the last, they can't ride no more, me bring them into the base. But I'll tell you the reason why later on. I don't want to say anything to them. So as a person who understood, they came on, oh, sir, or ma'am. He said, sir, at first. He said, ma'am. I was, oh my God. You know, this is it. Oh, but he could have told me that. What's the attitude? What did you want? After that, I never saw them again. Spooky. I can tell you a lot of stories like that. And we will have a night where I give story time stuff. I have to. It's too much stories in my head. I heard some songs earlier, brought back some memories. Man, I got to share these things and talk about the wonderful people that I've met down through the years. But there's definitely something in the air, something in the food, something in the water, something in the internet, something with the vibration coming from the screen that's making a lot of us, not even just with the trans thing, but all type of mentalities, fixations, stirring up little things and turning them into major fetishes. And we're walking around with these things in our head. We can't even enjoy a normal life. A simple day to get up and say, you know what, let me take a walk. No, but the first thing we do, we got to pick up this phone. Down in the phone all day. I see kids sitting in the dark inside, bright sunny day outside, and they just sitting on the couch in the living room and the dog just down on the phone. And they're wasting their life. They're going to look around and say, what happened? Even me, who lives a full life, who work jobs, who have family, who raise kids, and I've been online for 25 years and a month. No, 25 years and 2 months now, right? I still got to do that show about my years online. But even I say to myself, man, the time flew. So what happens to these youngsters when they get older in their 30s and 40s and 50s and realize all they did is be on the phone? What connection do you have that makes it easier for other things to slip in? And beyond that, for those children who grow up into adults who are used to this, and their kids grow up, they don't know anything of a connection because their parents don't have anything of a connection. What kind of society are we going to have? Will their minds be easily pliable and moldable to do whatever the system and the powers that be want? I don't want to see what's really going to happen. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Salute to the brothers. Mwah! Much love to the sisters. Thank you for listening to my crazy all over the place rant, but like anybody else, I got questions. And I don't know. It's like when you go on a road somewhere to get to a destination, but you pass the exit, and you're like, I've been here one time before, but I didn't come this far. I don't know what this place is. I don't know what this world is anymore. I know what it was, but I don't know where it's going. Like the song says, do you know where you're going to? I don't know where we're going to, but I know I'm not going no further. I'm staying where I am. Maybe I'm setting my ways. I like life the way it is, pure, simple, and the way it should be. If you think that I'm wrong for saying that, stay butthurt. I love you all. Take care. LanceScurv out. Peace.